Rob Cornilles joins me now. Rob, what do you think of that claim that she's a job creator?
Well, it's ludicrous. It's also an insult to all the small business owners out there and people who employ that someone from the state would suggest that they're a job creator using other people's money.
Let's get to you're a businessman. You employ people, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been doing it for 16 years.
But in her case, all she's doing is spending the people's money and by saying, "Oh, I voted on that transportation bill, so therefore thousands of jobs are the result of my vote."
Right. The simple point is she continues to exaggerate her record, and she often talks about the fact that politicians will say whatever they have to get elected. I guess she would know, and it's really an insult to those people who have to sacrifice in order to create jobs, meet a payroll. I've been doing that for years. I know how to sign the front of a paycheck. I don't think she's ever done that or met a payroll, and it just shows how out of touch today's politicians are. They don't really know what's required to create a job, and that's why we're not creating jobs as a country and as a state.
Hey, the fish wrapper hasn't been cutting you many breaks. They keep trying to take shots at you as well, don't they?
Well, sure. There's some mischaracterizations going on around about me and my background. That's part of the game. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. The important thing for people to know is that we've had a successful business for 16 years, my wife and I, and we've employed 60 people, wonderful people in that time. We've provided terrific services around the country, even around the world. And one thing that's really pertinent right now is our business has been able to assist in launching careers for more than 500 people. And what politicians can say that right now unless they're using other people's money or unless they're spending money we don't have?
I'm talking to Rob Cornilles, who's running for Congress against Suzanne Bonamici. And by the way, Ms. Bonamici and her supporters, you should know we would allow her plenty of time to come on here. Other Democrats come on this show. And if they have answers to the questions, we're glad to take them. Do you plan to go after her in particular? If she were back in Congress right now, I imagine she would have been one of the no votes on the Keystone Pipeline that the president has blocked. And she probably would have been one of the no votes on the plan that just passed, and then the Senate failed to pass it, but the House passed it in favor of the extension of the payroll tax cut, the extension of unemployment benefits, the part I disagree with, and the fast tracking for the Keystone Pipeline. Are you going to be able to use that as a campaign issue here?
Well, there's a lot of things we can use as a campaign issue. We're doing our best to get the message out to the voters that when you want to know how she'll vote, you just look at how the Democrat Party will vote, and she pushes the button. She's a 98%er. She's voted with her party in Salem 98% of the time. And by the way, when she voted the other 2%, it was not with Republicans. It was to the far left of her own party. She has a more partisan voting record than the Senate Minority Leader, Ted Ferrioli, over the last few years. And he's the minority leader of the Republican Party. So you think that if he's voting about 75% of it with his party, that she'd be close to that? She's 98%. That is exactly what's wrong with our system today.
Rob, when's the next joint appearance when people are going to be able to see you on the same stage?
We have some forums and debates in the month of January, and one is televised and two are public forums, but nothing until then. I look forward to them. In fact, I would tell you we've accepted additional invitations to visit with her in front of the public, and her campaign has already sent notices to those organizations that, quote, she is scheduled all the way up till January 31st. So she's obviously avoiding the subject of what's really ailing Oregon right now, job creation, because she doesn't know much about it. And she obviously doesn't want to debate it with me. But I'm actually at an engagement right now where I've been speaking, and voters want to hear from these candidates. And I'm grateful to have the chance to talk to your listeners. And I got to go answer people's questions now after my speech.
No problem. Thanks, Rob. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Lars.
You bet. Rob Cornilles running for Congress.